Hi, welcome to another video. This is my early December clear your shit TBR. Really, it's my clear your shit TBR, but here you'll get to see what Bookopoly deal gave me for December and kind of what the go is for both like late November and pretty much all of December. So yeah, welcome to TBR. So first off, before we talk about the readathon TBR, Clear Shit is a readathon hosted over November and December by Andy, sometimes known as Mouse, at Mouse Reads. This pimple won't be going away. And it is designed to help you get rid of your already owned books in the lead up to the new year. I am a fiend, and I don't play by rules. I don't not buy anything over November, December. And I just read as much as I can, as fast as I can. And this clear shit, I'm going really ambitious and I'm trying to fulfill each prompt 4 times. So I don't think it'll actually happen, but that's what I'm going to be showing you today as we go through the readathon TBR. But first, let's look at the Bookopoly deal TBR. So let's jump in to our monthly game of Bookopoly deal. This is a TBR game that I play every month based on Monopoly Deal, which is a card game based on Monopoly. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm filming this very early, and by very early I mean it's not even November, but if you've seen anything that's going on with me, I'm doing clear your shit in November and December, which means I want to know what I have to get on my December TBR like now as I'm planning everything out. So we are going to do this and play. Alrighty, let's go. Cash. Cash. Oh, a wild card. This is stations and utilities.
So first off, we pulled out a wildcard utilities stations. Utilities are 2019 backlist titles and stations are 2020 releases. I decided to go with the station here and I picked Bell Revolt by Lindsay Miller. I do have this book physically. I have quite a few of these books physically, but I'm not going to be holding anything up in this video because it's going to be a long video if I do. So I'm just going to slam through showing you covers on the screen. Bell Revolt will be the second Lindsay Miller I've read, and it is a revolutionary French Revolution queer story, sapphic I believe. Yeah, so this one is revolutionary, it looks fun. We'll see what I end up thinking of it. I liked her previous book quite a bit. I'm going to be listening to this on audio as well.
Oh, a yellow-red wild card.
Then we picked up a wild card, yellow-red wild card. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I just got home. Yellow is a contemporary and red is an other genre. I decided to go with the other genre for this, and I'm going to be picking up Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica, which is a thriller, and I've got it out from my library. I'll be reading this on ebook. I don't know much about it otherwise. I think it has to do with midwives and doulas.
Cash. Wild card.
Then we drew Total Wild Card. For this I'm going to be reading The Death of Jane Lawrence by Caitlin Starling, which is a horror, marriage horror, I think. I've read Caitlin Starling's other horror and really enjoyed it, which was the caving one, The Luminous Dead, and I've heard nothing but good things about this, except I've had a really hard time getting my hands on it. I think my current order will go through, but I've had my order cancelled before, so we'll see, and hopefully I can get my hands on this in time.
And that technically gets us out a full wild card because that would count as utilities, but we technically don't have a single card, so I'm gonna call that a bit of a lie. Here we go. Now we definitely have a full set. So yellow wild card. So there we go. That's our December Bookopoly deal.
And finally we pulled Coventry Street, which is a hard-hitting contemporary, and for that I'm going to be reading Summer of Salt by Katrina Leno, which is a middle grade young adult coming of age queer story, I believe, but with some dark themes set on a beachy island, I believe. I think it has some fabulism elements as well. So those are the 4 books I'm going to be reading for Bookopoly deal, so I have to read those during the month. But obviously, let's go through this Clear Sheet TBR, which is probably why you're here. There are 24 prompts for Clear Sheet. 3 of them are currently mystery prompts, and 3 of them are also free spaces. But I will talk about the free spaces. The only things I don't currently have planned are the mystery prompts. So, first prompt. Prompt number 1, a book where someone dies. For this, I'm going to be reading A Mistletoe in Murder by Robin Stevens, which is a middle grade murder mystery. The One Impossible Labyrinth by Matthew Riley, which is an action thriller. Someone always dies in his book, even if it's just goons. The Death of Jane Lawrence by Caitlin Starling, as I've already mentioned, obviously death. And How We Fall Apart by Katie Zhao, which is a dark academia based after a murder in a school. For prompt 2, we have a book where people go on a journey. So first off, we have Battle of the Labyrinth by Rick Riordan. This is in my November TBR. We also have Shade Bloom by Felicia Davin, which is the 3rd and final book in the Gardener's Hand trilogy, which I've been reading as part of the Polyamory Plot Hole book club with my book club. That's my book club. I don't know how to talk today. This is the 3rd and final book, and we'll be reading it in November. So by the time this goes up, I might have already read it. Along the Saltway Sea by A. Deborah Baker or Shauna Maguire. This is a spin-off to Middle Game, and it's the 2nd book in the series. We also have Tale of Witchcraft by Chris Colfer, which is the 2nd in a middle grade series about a girl who is learning magic in a world where magic is like despised. 3rd prompt is a book that was recommended to you. So first off, we have Jungle Drop by Abby Elphinstone, which is the 2nd in the Unmapped Chronicles, recommended by Gavin at How to Train Your Gavin. Also Never and Forever by Cressida Cal, also recommended by Gavin. We also have Major Detours by Zachary Sergi, which was recommended on the LGBTQ Reads blog by Dalia Adler. And Daylight by Rhea Marsh, which is a collection of poetry which I was recommended by my friend Erin from Shebas and Shelves. Next up, we have a book people talk about a lot. So first up, we have Arishara and the Tree of Wishes by Roshni Chokshi, which is a middle grade, published by the Rick Riordan Presents group. We also have The Book Smugglers, which is the 4th Pages and Co book by Anna James. The Ex-Hex by Erin Starling, which is a witchy contemporary romance, and I believe it's also sapphic. Maybe, I can't remember. And The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik, which is the sequel to Deadly Education. Then we come to prompt 5, which is the shortest book. I'm going to be reading 3 volumes of Lumberjanes. I have here 11, 12, and 18. And I'm also going to be reading Readathon by Brandon Sanderson, which is one of 3 novellas that are coming out around the release of Cytonic, which was the 3rd Star Site. That's not the first book. What's the first book called? Skyward. The 3rd Skyward book, and there's 3 novellas coming out around that. Changing sides. Then we have prompt 6, steal a book from someone else's TBR. So first up, I'm going to be reading Cute Mutants Volume 2 by S.J. Whitby. This is on a couple of people's TBRs, I know, or at least not necessarily Volume 2, but Cute Mutants as a whole is. So I'm very excited to pick up Volume 2. We also have Lost in the Neverwoods by Aidan Thomas, which I've seen on a few people's TBRs. This is a Peter Pan retelling. Cytonic by Brandon Sanderson, as I mentioned before. I know April plans to be reading it as soon as it comes out, so that works. And My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones is another recent release that I know people are really keen for and definitely have on their TBRs. Now, prompt number 7 is a book with gold, silver, bronze, or bronze on the cover. I'm going to be reading The Haunting of Pelican City by Sophie Green, which is the 2nd Potkin and Stubbs book. We're also going to be reading Sunreach by Brandon Sanderson, which is another of those novellas. The Bronzed Beast by Roshni Chokshi, which is the 3rd Gilded Wolves book. and The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which has this gold cover. It's the sequel to the Inheritance games, which I really, really enjoyed. For the side quest, there are 2 books you can pick from following the 2 leaders of the readathon, Narrator and Library Ridge. I'm picking Narrator's fave, which is They Never Learn by Lane Fargo. Then for smallest book, which is prompt 8, I'm going to be reading Lumberjanes Volume 13 and 17, as well as Skyward Volume 1, which is another graphic novel, and Evershore, which is the 3rd of those short novellas from Brandon Sanderson. Then we have spooky books. First up, we have Shadowgast by Thomas Taylor, which is the 3rd Malamander book. We also have Green Glass House by Catherine something. It's a middle grade. As well as Rise of the Zombies by Tracy Baptiste, and Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Core. A book with an animal, we have The Interrupted Tale by Mary Rose Wood, which is the 4th incorrigible children's story. Amelia Fang and the Trouble with Toads by Sophie Ellen Anderson. The Tea Dragon Tapestry by Kay O'Neill. And The Raven Tower by Anne Leckie. Then we have the mystery prompt, so we're skipping that. Then we have a free book space, and for this I'll be reading Wise and Nerve, both volume 1 and 2 by Marissa Meyer. They're graphic novels. Here we'll be reading Local Woman Missing, as I mentioned in the Bookopoly Deal TBR, and A Dark and Starless Forest by Sarah Hollowell. Prompt 13 is a fantasy book. I'll be reading A Master of Jim by P. J. Clark, The Bone-Shard Emperor by Andrea Stewart, The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri, and A Psalm of Storm and Silence by Rosie, it's there. Prompt 14 is a book with a purple cover. I'll be reading The Puffin Portal by Vashti Hardy, Sky Pirates by Alex English, Redemptor by Jordan Ifueko, and The Wild Ones by Nafisa Azad. For 15, a book with a female or non-binary main character. I'll be reading You Must Be Layla by Yasmin Abdelmajid, The Trouble with Perfect by a person I can't remember, The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill, and The God of Lost Words, also by someone I can't remember right now, AJ Hackworth. An intimidating book. I'll be reading both part 1 and part 2 of The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong, which is the sequel to Our Violent Delights. And then we have another mystery prompt. And then for the next free book space, which is prompt 18, I'll be reading Broken Homes by Ben Aranovich, Supernova by Marissa Meyer, Prelude for Lost Souls by Helene Dunbar, and We Were Restless Things by Ko Nagamatsu. And then next up is prompt 19, which is read a book you don't remember the details of. So I have The Bad Luck Lighthouse by Nikki Thornton, Artemis Fowl and the Lost Colony by Owen Colfer, These Violent Delights by Nika Nemereva, which is not to be confused with the other These Violent Delights, and Armistice by Lana Donnelly. Lena Donnelly. Then we have prompt 20, a book with water themes. I'll be reading The Ship of Shadows by Maria Kuznia, Summer Assault by Katrina Lenner, as I mentioned earlier, The Monstrous Heart by Claire McKenna, and Tropic of Serpents by Marie Brennan. That's right. Then we have prompt 21, read a book with a group cast. I'll be reading Lumberjanes volume 14, 15, 16 and 19. For prompt 22 is another free book space. I'll be reading Her Christmas Cookie by Katrina Jackson, which is going to be for the Polyamorous Plot Hole Book Club, and another one which is 12 Spankings from a Secret Santa. I can't remember who wrote this though. It'll be here. Both of those will be for the book club. They're Christmas polyamorous stories. In the Watchful City, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce his name without it in front of me, and I didn't write it down, but it's right there. White Smoke by Tiffany G. Jackson. And then we have Read an Opulent book. So we have Popkin and Stubbs. I mentioned the second one earlier. The first one's going in here. By Sophie Green. The Girl and the Goddess by Nikita Gill. Belle Revolt, which I mentioned obviously earlier, by Lindsay Miller. And Daughter of the Burning City by Amanda Fruity. So, and then Prompt 24 is The Boss Battle, which obviously we don't know yet. So, I know I went through that super duper fast, but I do not have the time to sit and tell you a little bit about each of these. I will be vlogging my way through the experience, which you will have already seen the first couple by the time this comes out, I think. So keep an eye out for my vlogs. I'm also updating as I go on Twitter and Instagram. I'm not sure if I'll actually get through all of these, plus the mystery prompts, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. I'll keep you updated. Thanks so much for watching this video. I know it's a bit messy, but I'll see you soon with another one. Bye.